Hello and welcome back to Flash Knockdown Series 6, episode number 7 from our brand new studio. It's fight week here, of course, in London on Friday night, your main event at the spiritual home of British boxing, York Hall. Kieran Conway defends his British middleweight title against George Liddard. As far as the show goes, though, here's what we have coming up for you all this week. We have a new signing to unveil on the programme, a Flash Knockdown first, so stay tuned for that one later on in the programme. The White Rhino Dave Allen reviews the hard-fought battle with Arslanbek Makhmudov on Saturday and tells us what we might see next. 2 years out of the ring, but Jordan Thompson has a golden opportunity to gatecrash the heavyweight division in just a few weeks over in America. He joins us on the sofa in the studio. Super Middleweight hotshot Diego Pacheco talks his upcoming fight with Kevin Sadjo. Matchroom CEO Frank Smith catches up on the blower, and there's all the usual chat, nonsense, quiz, much more coming up on this week's show. You know what to do. Don't go anywhere. We're very happy to say joining us from the now world famous ensuite is the White Rhino, Dave Allen. Dave, still as handsome as ever, a couple of bruises. We're recording this, on Monday afternoon. It's 20 to 5 in the evening. The obvious question is, how are you and how are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel really good. My spirits are high. I feel very sore. Bit sore and a bit tired. Well, my spirits are really high, you know. I fought someone that I think, you know, has to be treated as as a fringe world level fighter, top 15, top 20, and you know, I got beat, but I was in there having my moments. You know, there were times where it looked like I was going to turn it around, and I didn't box to the best of my ability. I didn't think I performed great, but I showed I had the physicality and a few of the things that I can compete at that level. You know, I don't think I am that level, but I showed glimpses of being able to win fights at that level. So I feel pretty good. You know, physically I'm tired and sore, and you know, but the feedback, the response from the public's been amazing. So you know, that's helped lift my spirits.
What would you have done differently? What do you think you could have done better in the ring?
Oh, loads of things. I didn't use my brain. I got cracked really hard early, and I just thought, you fucker. I thought, you're fucking having it now. And I let my head rule my heart, really. I just followed him. and just waited for that shot, waited for the perfect shot, really. Getting it, and I thought, well, you put everyone else away with this. And I thought, I'm just going to stand here and eat him. And then by the time it came to me trying to hit him back, and it took so much out of me, I didn't fight with my brain, really. You know, I fought with my heart and my bravery and a bit of machismo. And I tell all my fighters, you fight with your brain, not your heart, and that. And I didn't. But I tried to get into a fight with him, and I got beat. So nothing but respect to him. He was the better man on the night, and you know, it's one of them. I watched it back and thought, I could have definitely made that a closer fight. Could have moved and slipped. I wasn't my usual self. Just had the blinkers on, really, and a bit one-track minded. Weren't really listening to what Jamie was saying, and I just wanted to get in the scrap, and it was the wrong way of going about it. But I lost fair and square. I got no complaints.
Do you think part of that, Dave, is down to the stage you were on? I spoke to you in the build-up, and you said, you know, you were more worried about letting people down. You got emotional on the ring walk. It was an incredible atmosphere. But do you think that was maybe down to it a little bit, trying to people please too much?
Yeah. It took. I nearly had a panic attack on the stage. Like, I fucking couldn't get my breath. Really, I thought, fucking hell, there's so many people that they're all screaming. I took a gulp, and I gulped, and there was no air there. And I gulped again. Fucking hell, I thought I couldn't breathe. So I panicked for about 10 seconds. I thought, fucking hell, I can't fucking breathe.
Scott's laughing at you. I'm not.
I wanted to win so bad for him. Really, really did. And in the end, because I probably went about it tactically a little bit wrong and different to what I usually would, I took too many. But it got me through the 12. Because after 10, Jay wanted to pull me out. I said, look, mate, we can't do that. If you push me flat out on my back, it is what it is. I need to get through this 12 for these. In the last, I had a real go at him. I missed a shot by about 4 yards in the end. For a right-handed, he was 10 yards away, and I threw one and missed by about 3 meters. It was embarrassing, but just wanted to win so bad for everyone that were in there. So great, it was such an unbelievable atmosphere and occasion. But I did try too hard. Yeah, I tried a little bit too hard, to be honest.
You certainly didn't let anyone, Dave, down, and not that it matters what me and Scott are saying, but you should certainly be as I think if you could be 10% as proud of yourself as how proud everyone is and British boxing is of you, I think you'd be a happy man. Do you think it's also down to the fact that you always said that if you 100% know in your mind you've given everything now, that losing, it takes the edge off because you know you couldn't have done more, at least physically. Has that helped?
I got beat by a good fighter, and a good fella. So, I never begrudge anyone who's defeated me. Never begrudge them the victory. Never. Always happy for him. I was happy for Arslanbek, good fellow we spoke since. I always take defeat well. I'm a gentleman, really. I've been a sportsman all my life before boxing or footballing and doing track and field. I've always been doing stuff at good levels, and it's sports. You have a winner and a loser. I win well and I lose equally as well. So yeah, I took the defeat well. I was gutted, but I knew I'd lost at the final bell. I knew I'd lost. I couldn't get my head around the cards. I had 115, and I thought, bloody hell, that's close. But obviously, the point deductions, it wasn't as close as that would make it seem. But
what's Eddie said to you, Dave, about what's next and what could be next?
He wants to go back to Sheffield. He wants to go back and headline Sheffield again. I said, look, I'm not boxing no fucker like him again. I said, get me the right opponent this time. Yeah, so he wants to go back to Sheffield. Hopefully we sell the full place out this time. I think we will. I think people will have seen Saturday and want to be part of that. It was an atmosphere like no other. I've been to loads of boxing shows, home and abroad, world title fights. I've never ever seen an atmosphere like it.
What sort of level of opponent? Is it the British title you want? I know the European title's a fight you've spoken about as well. Where's the comeback looking like?
Yeah, you get the British to come off the European title fights and Johnny Fisher. I think they're the end result now. They're the big payoff now. They're the end. That's the end. That's the end of the rainbow now. It was Wilder. It was trying to break onto the world scene. Now the end of that rainbow now is a British who come off the European title. It's the third Johnny Fisher fight. So just things have changed a little bit. But I'd like a few fights before I get there. I'd like to have a couple more. I think I'm still improving. I didn't show that the other day, but in the gym I'm still improving.
Aside from the conversations you've had with Eddie, Dave, anyone else reached out? Who else have you heard from?
A few famous people, actually. Funny you asked that. Lewis Tomlinson got in touch. I had 20 minutes on the phone with him last night. He's a good friend, Obviously, it'd be very easy for him just to slip off into superstardom and not have to speak to peasants like me anymore. But no, he's a good bloke. He's always been in touch, always kept in touch. And he rang me last night. We had 20 minutes on the phone, making sure I was all right, congratulating me. And the funny thing is, I try and ask him questions. How's it going over there? Album going well, all the rest of it. He's not interested. You know what I mean? Like, he's a good bloke. So, David Hay called me earlier. I had him on the phone 40 minutes, couldn't get him off. Couldn't get him off the phone, David Hay.
What was he saying?
He's my mate, David Hay. Just said he's tough, but you need to stop being tough. You need to go, you can box, you need to box, you need to use your brain. And, just give me loads of tips and advice, talking about his son. Talking about what's going on in his life and what's going on in mine. He's become a mate of mine over the years. He's another one of my heroes that have become friends.
Talking about changing and not changing, one question I did want to ask you, Dave, is after the fight, I saw you put a post out with Jamie Moore and Nigel Travis saying till the end. In what way do you think that could be a message to fighters that, look, when things might go wrong, staying true and not necessarily just making radical changes is sometimes the best way to go? Why is that important for you as well?
Yeah. Some boxers leave gyms and the right to do so. They need to check, Joe. The coach it's not the best place for him to be. The other night I got beat for two reasons. One, I weren't good enough, and two, I didn't follow the instructions of box the best of my ability. That's on me, that's not on them. So it's not to get any boxer at all that's got ever left the gym. Some of them leave the right to leave. They've gone to a better place or their needs has changed. Well, a lot of them get beat and they go, I need to blame the coach. I take responsibility, full responsibility. I weren't good enough. Number one, I didn't follow the game plan, which I was given. And two, I wasn't good enough. So, people are saying, you should move gyms because they'll do this, that, and the other. They're not going to make me any fucking less of a div. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to go to a new gym and they're going to make me fucking listen more. Do you know what I mean? They're going to stop me from trying to everyone's in. Instead of boxing. You won't ever work like that. So I'm very uncomfortable
Jamie and Nigel are Jay's like me cool big cousin, and Nigel's like my uncle. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're as good as family. We're tight. Like, it's unbreakable, really. So I ain't going anywhere. I'm not having people say I am.
Have you treated yourself to a KFC, or are you still being healthy? What's the crack?
I'm staying healthy, yeah. I'm not good overnight in stone again. So it's David, eh? It's like, look, he's got a camp at 21 stone. The best I can do is weigh 18 half. I'm still pretty big at 18 and a half.
My next fight, I'm going to be 17 and a half stone. I'm going to take another stone off. Hopefully that'll help. I was fit as a fiddlist. I've never been fitter. My punch output was too low. I was too sluggish. We're going to go down to 17 and a half. Yeah, I spoke to David. That was a David A. Joint decision with me and Dave A, actually. My mate Dave A. You know Dave A? Remember him?
Dave Hay.
I remember you two struck a little bromance in the bubble, actually.
Mate, woos. Well, me and David A, yeah. We're like brothers. Trust me.
Is victory made a little bit easier at times when you can go home and be with your family and be with the kids? Is that when you could shut the front door and get away from the noise for a little while? How was that feeling for you last night and the night before?
You're doing me sits in already, to be honest. I'm really still back. It's jumped during Edinburgh. Chill up. It's nice to be back, yeah. All this nice house, with family out, it's nice. I've hardly been in it. My kids are going up all the time. Every week I'm coming back and they're doing something new, they're saying new words, or doing something different. I would love to come out. I'm missing everything. Well, I've been up here doing this for the last 10 minutes, I've done something now. You miss something all the time, so I want to really enjoy the time I've got now. But I know if I work hard for the next 18 months, I can give them everything they want, and that's what it's all about, So, I might get a few more good ideas, but there might be a private school as well, so what a buzz that'll be.
Well, Dave, listen, we love you. Please never change. Commiserations, but congratulations on being the legend and the man that you are. And good to hear the news from Eddie that more big nights at Sheffield Arena still to come, my friend. So enjoy the ensuite, enjoy the home, and enjoy being with your kids, because that's what you deserve and what really matters, mate. So thanks very much for your time as well.
Thank you very much. Up the hammer time.
You said it, son. Speak soon.
Well, recently added to the upcoming Matchroom schedule for the rest of 2025, a new date, Stockton, California, December 13th. Two unbeaten super middleweights who have eyes on the prize to move forward and challenge for world titles collide. In the main event, of course, our own Diego Pacheco meets former European champion Kevin Sadjo. Both of those guys, by the way, a combined record of 50-0. Matchroom's Josh Wright, our friend and colleague, caught up with Diego Pacheco just moments after the recent fight announcement.
Diego, big news tonight. You're obviously here in Philadelphia to announce your big fight. What can you tell us about what's coming up for you?
Yeah, we just announced December 13th. I'll be back in Stockton, California, going for 25-0 against a really great opponent. He's ranked in the top 10 in every sanctioning body, Kevin Lele Sadjo. So it's exciting, two undefeated fighters, and just excited to get another win and one step closer to a world title.
What was the thinking behind picking Kevin Sadjo? Because obviously he's got a great record, almost nearly perfect knockout ratio, but why did you decide to pick him?
Because he's a great fighter, Kevin Lele Sadjo, he's undefeated. I asked for a guy who's in the top 10. We couldn't get bigger names, so Kevin Lele Sadjo was the other guy who we thought would be a great fight, undefeated, hungry fighter, and I think it's going to prepare me very well for the future fights to come.
Do you think that's where we'll see the very best of Diego Pacheco, when you have someone that's obviously coming and willing to win? He obviously, all he knows is how to win and how to knock people out.
Definitely. I feel I shine the best when I have guys also trying to take my head off, coming forward, pressing the fight. Like I said, I come to the fight prepared to fight any fight. I styles make fights, and every fight is going to be different. And I come prepared to just make sure I get the win.
Going back to the West Coast as well, must always be a special moment for you close to home.
Oh yes, definitely. Stockton, it's a few hours from LA, but everyone will be able to make it up there from LA, and just excited to be back in California and put on another great fight.
The super middleweight division has changed a little bit since you last fought. Canelo was previously held all the belts, now it's Terence Crawford. What did you make of that fight, and were you surprised with the outcome?
I was not surprised with the outcome. Terence Crawford is a hell of a fighter. And, actually, I was a little surprised that he took care of business that easy. But I knew he had it in him to win. And now, like you said, the division is is completely different, and I'm excited to see what Terrence Crawford's going to do next. And yeah, man, I'm motivated more than ever. 168 division, I feel, is up for grabs, and I feel I'll be the one to grab that division.
That's like you said, we have to wait and see what Terence Crawford decides to do, but I imagine it's more than likely that the belts will become fragmented in 2026. Is it all about beating Sadjo in December and then positioning yourself for a world title shot next year?
Yes, definitely. I feel ending the year off in a great win against a great opponent like Kevin Lele Sadjo definitely lined me up for a great year of 2026, and hopefully we were able to fight for one of those world titles next year.
There's been a bit of change behind the scenes for you in recent weeks. Obviously, Jose Benavidez has been a massive part of your training team, which won't be the case moving forward. Just talk to us about that change.
We had a good run. Jose Benavidez, we did, I think, like 10 fights together. I learned a lot being there with him up there in Seattle, and I just feel like now it was time for a change. And now I'm back in LA, training with a great team, making my own team, and just excited for the future. I feel this was the right time to move back to LA, now I'm back there and I'm feeling great.
You must have learned so much, like you said, obviously working with Jose, sparring and training with David. You must have taken some great memories and really put you in a great place to kick on in your career.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm really, really grateful for all the experiences in sparring. Even on the business side of boxing, everything I got to learn being around them is something that I'm going to take with me everywhere I go now. And now it's on to bigger and better things.
Obviously, you were in Seattle, now you're moving back to LA. Do you feel like, even though you're still so young, do you feel like with all the learning experiences that you have, you feel mature enough and ready enough to go back home and not be distracted at all by the other things that could maybe have distracted you in the past?
Yeah, definitely. Now I'm 24 years old, I'm a father, and I kind of, I know what I want in life. I'm not, out here confused. I know exactly what I want, so I'm focused, locked in, and I have a great support system, and just ready to take care of business and stay locked in LA.
Just finally, what's your message? The DP show heads to Stockton. What can the fans expect on December 13th?
December 13th, man, is going to be another great DP show against another great knockout. A great opponent with great knockout power, and just excited. December 13th is going to be a great night. I'm excited.
Knockout?
Knockout. I think knockout.
Diego, wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, this is a first on Flash Knockdown. We're about to unveil a brand new signing. Now, can we give you a little hint before we run the promo? Well, I can tell you he is the son of one of British boxing's favourite fighting sons, a bit of a legend in most parts, particularly in East London. Have a little look at this.
The amateur days are over. I'm coming for it all in the pro game. There was one Mitchell before me, but I'll be the best. This is where the graph gets real, no shortcuts. I'm keeping the last name alive. Fast, slick, smart. I'm ready for war. This is in my blood. It's about legacy. Stay tuned for the journey. It's the Conor Mitchell era now.
Yes, we're very happy to say now, and I guess officially welcome to the Matchroom boxing roster, young Conor Mitchell. Conor, firstly, as I say, welcome to the team, signing with Matchroom. What does this moment mean to you? Because this is a moment you'll always look back on, turning professional. You must be buzzing.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I'm buzzing. I've wanted to do it since I was a kid, so it's massive to sign with Matchroom, and I'm looking forward to start things off.
Talk to us about the journey. When we have the young fighters in the studio, I always like to just take things back a little bit to the start. Obviously different for you growing up with a father who boxed. When did you first sort of begin to understand what your dad did for a living?
When I started doing it, probably like 14 years old. So obviously he retired when I was about 10 years old. So I didn't really get it then. Didn't really like the boxing, but when I got to 14, started boxing myself. Yeah, I loved it.
Why didn't you like boxing when your dad was fighting?
I don't know, I think I see everything go through it. Not being able to eat, the mood swings, the nights you lose. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot to it. Going out, not being able to just spend time with the family, like people coming up to you, speaking loads. Like, it's all a part of the game, but yeah, I've seen all that part of it, and it can be hard as a kid, like growing up, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, especially the tougher nights, particularly the one that sticks out for me is Linares. I mean, I think that was one of the first big shows I remember paying for the pay-per-view. So I think I must have been about 17 at the time. And your dad was actually the first boxer I followed on Instagram after that night. I mean, how do you remember that one? Were you at the O2 that night against Linares?
Yeah, I was there. I was, either 9 or 10. I got to the fourth round, and me and my nan walked out. We went and stand where the ambulances were.
Bless you.
And mate, I didn't even talk to him after the fight. I looked at him, just walked off. I thought, I was so annoyed that he lost, but listen, I was young, so I didn't understand it all. But yeah, no, I was there, and it was a good fight.
His eye was bad.
And he should be world champion, I think, really.
Yeah, so unlucky that night.
Yeah.
And that's when Linares was an animal as well.
Yeah, he was a good fighter.
How do you think, before we bring it back to yourself, how do you think he looks back on his career in that night now?
I don't think he'd change anything, which I think he should have, because he probably only done till he got to, I'd say, 23. He didn't really take it serious. He was living a life that weren't right for boxing, I'd say, which he would say too. But he wouldn't change nothing. I would say that, he wouldn't change it. People ask him all the time, and he says I wouldn't change nothing for nothing, but I think he wish he made a lot of money and was world champion though.
Do you think those mistakes that he's opened up about making in the past through his journey, he's been able to pass those lessons on to you so you don't make the same ones? Is that a positive that you can take from his journey?
Yeah, mate. I've never been in a club. I'm 20. I've never been in a club, and I've seen him go down. Do you know what I mean? He could have been probably a multi-weight world champion, I think, but because he didn't live the life, and I know he drunk, he went out. That ain't the life, I don't think. And yeah, I'm not doing none of that. Staying away.
Good lad. So you started boxing when you were 14.
Yeah.
So
actually, I started when I was 10 for a year.
Right.
And I couldn't deal with the pressure of I would be walking into a boxing venue about to fight, maybe a gym show, I think it was, and people would go, "Oh, that's Kevin Mitchell's son," and that would absolutely think in my head, "Oh, he must be good," and I couldn't deal with that pressure at that age. So I'd done it for a year, had 2 fights, and me and my dad went away on holiday, and he's like, "Don't worry about the boxing, go back to football." I thought, yeah. Went back to football, played quite high level football, and then I hated losing. And see, with football, it ain't down to one person. It's down to the whole team. So I went back I took myself back to the gym without even telling my dad. Went to a Dagenham Boxing Club it was, and I went there and started training for about 3 weeks, I think. And my dad found out. He's like, "Let's go to West Ham." He was like, "Let's start it properly. Let's go." So then he took me West Ham, and then from then just kept working, training, and then yeah.
So you won a senior elite ABA title. What were, I guess, amongst that win, what was the amateur pedigree like? How many fights did you have?
I had, I think, 46 fights, lost 5, 2-time national champion. Obviously, won the senior elites this year. So I won Haringey Box Cup. I won a few Box Cups. So yeah, I was always fighting, and I just thought the time's ready. I won the senior ABAs. That's the main thing to win. So I won that. I did do a GB assessment, but they took my weight at the Olympics. So then I thought, there's not really a point in me staying. Do you know what I mean? So I ended up turning over, and now I'm here.
What weight are you going to be campaigning at?
I'm going to make super bantamweight. Yeah, so I'm going to make that weight.
How do you see that changing? You're only 20 now, and obviously, I think it's between, isn't it, the ages of, anything after 20, but particularly in these first few years. Where do you think you could end up in weight-wise?
Super feather, maybe a lightweight by the end, but yeah, we'll have to see.
In terms of Matchroom, obviously with your dad's connection, it is one thing, but you've been around the Matchroom gym and Tony Sims, haven't you, for a lot of years? Where did that relationship sort of start?
I remember being in Tony's old gym at Worley when I was 7 years old. Me and my little brother holding the pads. I'd hold the pads in, punching, and Tony was like, "When are you going to be boxing?" And I'd say, "No, I don't want to box. I hate it. This and that. I like football." And then it's mad, what? I was there. I went to the Matchroom gym at Stapleford Abbots when I was 16. We were there for 2 years when I was training with my dad. And, yeah, mate, it was great. Even to be at random fighters like Felix Cash, Joe Cordina, Connor, Jimmy Sains, George, they're all great fighters, to learn off them. And they're all older than me, so, mate, it's great to see.
So Conor Ben is involved, I believe, in your career behind the scenes. What is that role? What does that
he's sort of he's advising me with things. He's just helping with all the advising. So yeah, he's helped me loads, mate. So much.
What's the biggest thing you've learnt from Conor Ben? How's your trash talk these days? Pretty good? You crushing it in the gym?
I don't know about that. I don't know about the trash talk. I'm not no good at that. But no, he's mate, even little things I went and watched him do the press conference and stuff like that. and him getting interviewed, like, it's helped me, like, learning or seeing what it's all about. So he's helped me with that loads, yeah.
In terms of the training setup, so you're not trained by Kevin anymore.
No.
Who's going to be your head
So
trainer?
I'm training with my amateur coach still, Lewis Passfield. He's going to take me on as a pro. So yeah, I'm staying with Lewis. He's a great coach. So yeah.
Do you think? I mean, look, we've seen father-son relationships in boxing sometimes work, sometimes throw up complications. What sort of role do you think Kev's going to have in your journey?
Oh, we just see me and my dad. We're very alike as people. Like, we argue a lot, this and that, and see with the training, like, as I got older, when I got to 17, I'd answer back to everything that he'd say. I'm telling him man myself. So we just end up clashing, and we end up coming to a decision saying, let's have a father and son relationship instead of the boxing. I'm always there to support you, back you, whatever you need, guide you. But yeah, like, he's wouldn't let me do my own thing. And that's what I'm happy with, because it's probably hard for him as well, letting me go do that. Like, I've trained with him since I was 14. Do you know what I mean? And then obviously I had 2 years with my amateur coach, but now I'm turning pro. He said, like, he's happy with me and he's going to be behind me, do you know what I mean, the whole way.
Aside from being each other, rather as people, I mean, you've got much better hair than he has for a start.
I'm hiding, yeah.
Mate, we're all going down that way, mate. But in terms of being like each other as people, what about as fighters? How would you describe your fighting style?
He would say I'm as smart as him. Do you know what I mean? Like, even though he's a good fighter, a warrior, I'd come forward. He actually had a good boxing brain. Like, do you know what I mean? He'd think, and he'd work inside, step out, go on the back foot. Like, he can do both, and that's what I can do as well. And he could punch, and I think I can punch as well. So yeah, we're like the same in boxing ways as well.
And you're a southpaw as well.
I'm southpaw, so I'm a right-handed southpaw. He's a left-handed orthodox. But I used to watch Billy Joe when I was growing up, and that's why I used to always go to my dad like, "Oh, I want to be a southpaw like Billy Joe," and bang, I just end up being. Even at 4 years old, I'd be like southpaw punching my dad's hands. Like, it's mad.
I guess when you look at the start of the journey, then what have the conversations been like with Frank Smith and Eddie Hearn, and I guess Conor Ben, who's working behind the scenes, about when we can see you make your debut?
So, obviously, I was going to try and make October the 17th, but then it ended up being too much of a rush. So he said around December time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Not
so can't wait, mate.
How are the overall emotions for you thinking about what that night's going to be like?
Do you know what? I don't really think too much of it like that. I just I'll take it when I'm there, take it all in. Yeah, and mate, hopefully get a naughty knockout. Get people talking.
I always ask the young fighters this, Conor, as well, when they come in, look, when you're looking back in 10 years' time, maybe for you, blimey, could be 15, 20 years' time, depending on how long you want to stay in this mad old game. But what is the dream for you at this stage, if I was to ask you, in the sport of boxing?
Well, like everyone says, I want to be a world champion, but I actually think I can be a world champion, do you know what I mean? And my dad got so close to being there. Now I want to shove him, actually, that I can be world champ before he was.
That'd be a good conversation around the dinner table, that.
Yeah, he'd be fuming. No, joking, no, he'd be right. No, I think, I want to be a world champion and multiple weight if I can, do you know what I mean? So that's the plan. And obviously, British champ. I want to win all the belts. But the main goal is world champion.
It'd be sweet just to have the belt on your shoulder and just point at your dad.
Point at him, give him a little wink.
Just a couple of fights I want to ask you about coming up. Obviously, Conor Ben, who's a big part of your team, massive night for him. The big rematch, November 15th at Tottenham. How do you see this one unfolding? Have you seen any differences in him this time?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of difference. He's not so emotionally thingy to it. Like, I think the last time he just wanted to kill him. Like, do you know what I mean? He wanted to land big shots, but I think this time he's going to be a lot more smart. I think he's going to be more, change it and be more of a boxer, and then when he needs to attack, go head and body. So I think a lot in that fight, he was so emotionally into it, he was just trying to smash him to the head, but really could have set it up, do you know what I mean, go to the body and then change it up and down. But no, I think we're going to see a knockout though, late 7th, 8th round.
Would you like to, I guess, win or lose? I mean, if Conor is to win, you'd think there's probably going to be a lot of talk of a trilogy.
Yeah.
But is there part of you that would like to see him drop down to 147 and try and win a world title?
Yeah, I think you should go back to 147 and fight Barrios. That's what I think. I think that's what you should do. Even if there was a trilogy, I just think, if the fight is as good as what it was last time, I think they should leave it at that, because, mate, what a fight that was the last time.
It was crazy, wasn't it?
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, British ain't seen that in ages. It's a proper war, so...
Yeah, it was incredible. And I guess also for some boys you know well as well, big night this weekend, or this Friday, I should say, for George Liddard, looking to win the British title as well. How do you see that fight with Kieran Conway going?
Look, it's an hard fight. I think like Kieran Conway's experienced, older. He's a strong fighter, but I think like George has the youth on him. Like I think if he starts fast and puts it on him, I think George will win it. But I just don't think he should let Kieran Conway get into his way of how he fights, you know what I mean? Because and then
in his rhythm.
Yeah, because it'll be hard to get out. An experienced fighter, when they get started, it's hard to stop him. So I think George should just stick it on him early. And then, listen, George has a punch to knock people out, so maybe a knockout.
And a big night for Jimmy Sains as well. He's fighting for the English middleweight title. What sort of potential do you think Jimmy's got?
Oh, Jimmy can go all the way. Jimmy can punch. He's fast. He's had the amateur background. Like, I think he's done it all. So I think Jimmy can go all the way. And he's a funny kid as well. He's funny.
Good character. Listen, I don't want to stir the pot, but they're both middleweight.
Yeah, I think...
I brought it up in the gym the other week and silence just fell.
Was it, yeah?
Yeah.
Killed him.
But Jimmy was looking at me going like, I mean, look, it'd be an interesting one.
I don't think it would happen, though. I think
John Ryder in one corner, Tony in the other.
Yeah, I know. Oh, mate. I don't think it will happen. I think George will end up moving up. I think Jimmy will stay in middleweight and George will move up, but we'll have to see.
Okay. Well, listen, Connor, so excited for your journey to begin. I do just actually finally have to ask you, obviously you're a hammer.
Yeah.
Like your dad, do you think Nuno can turn things around this season?
Oh, I hope so, mate. I do hope so. Because we ain't been playing well.
Have you got a season ticket?
No, actually, I ain't got one. I did when I was younger, but I went recently, but I didn't go for ages, to be honest. But no season ticket.
I guess that must be a bit of a dream, though. Is it London Stadium? Is that the ultimate venue for you?
That's the actual plan. I want to fight for a world title in West Ham Stadium, sell it out. Yeah, that's the plan.
And just finally, before we do let you go, look, the start of what we hope at Matchroom will be a very exciting journey. What's your message to the fans of why you think it's one they should get on board with?
Listen, I'm not just like my dad's son, do you know what I mean? I've proved then as an amateur that I'm actually a good fighter. I've won a senior Avids Holt. They don't get given to you, do you know what I mean? So, no, everyone should watch me and I'm going to show what I'm about.
Great stuff. Connor, welcome to the team. And listen, you heard it from the man here himself. Can he go one better than his old man, who was certainly one of our favourite fighters to watch over the last 10 years or so, Kevin Mitchell, and one day become a world champion. Lots to look forward to in the journey of Connor Mitchell. Okay, well, our next guest this week on Flash Knockdown, safe to say, been away from the bright lights and the limelight a little bit for the last 2 years or so, but well and truly back on the big stage now. Of course, November the 1st, he meets Lenier Perro in Orlando, Florida. Main event, moving up to the heavyweight division, the return of Jordan Thompson. And I must say, Jordan, listen, you've come on a Matchroom podcast. You know, we're sponsored by Everlast, and you're going to get us in a lot of trouble.
I do apologise. It's a very nice. And
Hold
obviously,
that.
These great wraps. Make sure you get yours. I use these personally. 10-10. Yeah, I'm just waiting on the delivery from Everlast. Yeah. But as soon as that comes, you know. But very nice tracksuit though. Very nice tracksuit.
But not as good as Everlast, obviously.
Not as good, for sure. You know.
But the wraps aren't going to save you, mate.
The wraps, I tried, trying to flex it, but you know.
The obvious question, I've seen you at a few shows and seen you around the circuit, but how are you? How's life and how's training been?
I'm well. Grateful, blessed to be back training as well, man. Back training. It's been a while since I've been out of the ring. It was a little layoff till I could even get back punching, to be fair. It was about just over a year and a half till I could get back to actually punching. So it was tough, man. It was testing, especially off the back of the last fight as well. But that's what makes the comeback all that sweeter. So now it's been a good journey, ups and downs though, I'll be honest, inside and outside the ring, but just blessed and grateful to be back and looking forward to getting out there.
So what was the injury then?
Hand injury.
And was that in the Pacheco fight you did that?
Prior. But,
okay.
It is what it is. We live and we learn, and yeah, man, we're backfiring on all cylinders. So, like I said, it's just grateful more than anything, because when you get that boxing taken away from you, even being able to just go to the gym and train, man, you learn a lot about yourself, and you start valuing boxing even that much more. So.
Well, that was September 2023.
Over 2 years.
Yeah, you fight with Opatai. I mean, you've described it as a bit of a roll of dice moment. You know, it was a massive step up to where the level you'd been boxing at for the world title. Of course, didn't go your way, but in the time since then, Jordan, like we say, been a couple of years now. What has kept you hungry for the sport of boxing? Was there ever anything in your mind about going elsewhere?
No, a few people have said that, to be fair. I mean, not a lot of people have really known that I even had surgery. Not a lot of people have been like, are you retired? Are you coming back? And it was one of them, man. Just sometimes the less said, the better. There's not really much to be said. We learn from the last fight. We be accountable where we can be accountable, and we make the changes moving forward. There's never been a time where it's crossed my mind whether or not I was going to come back. That was the most frustrating thing about having to get surgery after the last fight, was I'm not going to be able to just, as they say, jump back on the horse straight away kind of thing. So that was all that more testing, but it is what it is, man. You can't sit there and cry about it. It was tough at times, but I'm grateful. Got some real good people around me, some great family, and we're back. We're back, man. Like we never left. So grateful, just blessed, grateful for the opportunity as well. Big card, headline card in Florida. So again, my Matchroom pulling all the strings out for me, man. I'm very appreciative of that.
Before we talk about the fight, what have you been able to take positively from the extra time you've been able to have in the gym working with Don Charles? How have you been able to hone your craft? What have you been doing behind the scenes?
So it's about finding myself again, just finding my feet again, and really being my honest, true self in the ring, just really expressing myself. And I think that's one thing about Don. I used to train with Don anyway, so going back to Don, I've got Daly as well there, a real good young up-and-coming coach. And I think that's something that they really bring out of me, and that's just trusting me to be myself and go out there and do what I got to do. So very blessed position to be in, man.
When you got the call, just tell us what was going on, and when you heard that you're going to be heading over to America to headline.
Yeah, man. We was training because we already knew we were in contact with Frank, and we knew that there was going to be something coming up. So I'm one of them. If I'm training, man. I'm already training like I'm in a fight as it is. So we were training, we were taking over, we were doing what we had to do. Got the call. I think we got offered 2 fights, and I think one of the guys, he just fought. Did he fight last weekend? I looked at the two and I was like, yeah, they're both 2 southpaw heavyweights. I thought, okay, cool, both undefeated. I thought, I'm a very simple individual. I thought, okay, they're both a risk, but which one's the best reward? That's just the way I saw it. And I thought, yeah, my man, that looks good. Let's roll the dice on that. Simple as that, man. It's an educated roll of the dice, but I'm looking forward to it. I trust my team trusts me, so it'll be exciting.
What do you know about Lele Sadjo?
He's Cuban, and he's based in Miami, and he's southpaw. That's literally Olympian. Was he an Olympian? He was an Olympian. That's about it, man. I'll be real.
What about in terms of, so as a fight, as an opponent, what sort of prep do you do? How does that work?
I mean, ideally you're gonna spar southpaws, so we've got, which is not easy to do. So yeah, we've got some good southpaw sparring in, and again it's heavyweight, so it's a different game. It's a different game to cruiserweights. The guys are a lot bigger, so it's just being adaptable, making sure we can adapt to any situation that's thrown in there. I think we got all that covered. What's
still the dream for you, Jordan, at this stage? What age are you now? 32?
32. I think the dream for me has always been the same. When I came into boxing, it was always, I saw boxing as a chance for me and an opportunity for me to give back and not only make my family proud, but just to give back and provide some sort of platform to do other things off. So it's always been a bit of a stepping stone for me, boxing. Bit of a stepping stone, and it's already been very nice to me, very well to me. It's treated me very good. So again, man, I'm grateful, and I think that's what the layoff has taught me more than anything is how good boxing's actually been to me.
You've always been very confident. I mean, it's probably easy when you're about 6'10" and handsome, isn't it? I mean, it's harder for us 5'9" blokes who've got ginger beards, you know what I mean, to be so confident. But in terms of this confidence heading in to this fight, how do you believe you win this fight? What have you seen?
I've not really been looking at anything but the man in the mirror, to be fair. Like, I think that's been a lot about this camp is focus on myself, look within, and answer the questions that I've got about myself. That's another beautiful thing that boxing's been doing for me. It's a great way to answer some questions that you got about yourself. Very revealing sport, man. Very revealing sport. Sometimes it can be tough, but at the same, it can be very rewarding. So I've just been focusing on me, not to off-play or downplay my opponent, definitely not. I've just been focusing on me and what I can do, what I possess, and what tools I've got in the arsenal, and just sharpening them and making sure that we're good to go come November 1st.
So, after the Opataya fight, that man who was looking in the mirror, to this Jordan Thompson who's looking in the mirror? What's the difference?
A good few pounds. Literally, that's about it, man. A good few pounds, bro. That's about it, man. It's the same. It's the same me. It's the same me. Not a lot's changed. I think that's the beauty of it. I don't think I had to change a lot within me. There were some changes I had to make, but none too brutal, none too evident. Just subtle changes that I had to make within myself or within my inner circle, and we're good to go, man. The confidence has never been taken, that's for sure, man. We're just as confident as ever. As you said, it is pretty easy, but confidence is never and will never be an issue with me, that's for sure.
How do you feel physically? I mean, the move to heavyweight was always something you talked about.
Just healthy, man. That's a lot of people have been saying, like, wow, I just feel healthy. I just feel healthy. Like, I've not gone through any mad transformation. I've not done anything extraordinary. I've just stopped doing the extraordinary, stupid things I was doing to make cruiserweight.
How on earth did you make cruiserweight? I don't get it.
Neither do I, but we made it. That's
especially what? So the Oppenheimer fight was an IBF fight as well. So
Yeah.
Second day weigh-in.
Yeah, man. I think that was even harder, because I think having to sleep at that absolute treacherous weight was probably the toughest part, especially when you're going in there against someone of that caliber. So as the fights did go up, I thought, yeah, I'm only going to get away with this to a certain level.
With a hand injury as well.
Yeah, it didn't help. But again, man, you got to roll the dice, man. When you get chances like that, you got to take them. You think I'd be sat here now, I'd have had to get surgery anyway. I'd have been off the layoff 2 years, and you hadn't have rolled your chances on that. So I don't think I could forgive myself if I didn't take that chance.
And when you look what he has gone on to achieve, Oppenheimer, I mean, many think he's the best cruiserweight in the world right now, and he's going to move up to heavyweight, and a lot of people think he's going to have success with the big boys as well. Difficult question, I guess, to ask this, but has that softened the blow for you of that defeat? Because I remember at the time it was upsetting for you, but when you look at it now, has it changed?
No, because again, I'm a winner. First and foremost, I'm a winner, man. So I'm gonna take any loss, no matter how it comes about. It's gonna affect me. Never been the best loser. But again, I think it's just important to turn them losses that you do take in life. Don't really let it be a loss. Let it be a lesson. A bit cliche, but I think that's what determines the comeback. That's what determines the bounce back. That's what determines like getting up off the floor is how you do cope with and then bounce back from that loss lesson and move forward with what you've got. But I won't say anything that he's done soften the blow, because he's not really done anything that I didn't already or wasn't already aware that he could achieve. Yeah. We knew he was a special fighter. I think everyone he's been in there with since, he should have done what he's near enough done. So,
just before we do go to the quiz, which is the best quiz in boxing, by the way, which I'm sure you can't wait for, this is a massive opportunity. You don't need me to tell you that, to not just get back in the ring, get back on the big stage, but to really gate crash the heavyweight division. He's very well positioned, Pero. What would it mean to you to secure this win? What are you willing to do to secure this win on November 1st?
Anything. Literally willing to go out there. I've just got to go out there and give it my all, go out there and be myself, my honest self, express myself, have fun with it and embrace it. I think that's another thing, man. The experience that I got from that last fight, forget in the ring, but the experience that I got in and around it, inside and outside of the ring, second to none, man. Invaluable stuff that I've learnt from it, so it puts me in good stead. And
if it all comes together, what happens?
Hey, it's sensational. It's happy days, and I celebrate at Disneyland.
Yeah, well, they do say it's where dreams come true. Maybe you can go with Pat Brown. He's on the card as well, little Manchester.
He is on the card. I saw that actually. That'll be good. That'll be good, definitely. Does he like Disney?
He might do.
He's a bit of a hard nut though.
Yeah, scary guy. Lovely but scary.
Lovely guy.
Jordan, wish you the very best of luck in the rest of training camp, mate. Thanks very much for joining us. Great to see you back on the big stage. And now we go to the greatest quiz in boxing. Welcome to the 7th instalment of boxing's greatest quiz, face to face to face to face. Let me hand over to producer Scott. If you haven't seen the previous 6 episodes, you need to get a life and watch them to go over the rules. Here he is.
Thanks, Jamie. Jordan, good to see you first of all.
Good to see you, my man.
Secondly, good luck. I think you might need it.
Thank
So
you.
a few ground rules for this charity quiz. First of all, if you are top of the leaderboard...
Can I just say quickly, I thought you were talking about this fight. I was like, Jordan, are you going to take that? So I should slap him.
I'd have been like, hey,
bruh. I think Jordan's going to do the business out in Orlando, so just putting it out there.
I appreciate that, Scott.
But first of all, you do have another challenge.
This is it. It's a tough one.
But
I'm looking forward to it.
So a couple of ground rules. There are 4 sections of a face Jamie will unveil on his iPad. You need to give me the name of each fighter. So there's 2 points at stake for each section of the face.
Yeah.
If you don't know the answer to any of them, you can ask for a clue. It might be helpful, it might not. If you do that, the prize at stake goes down to 1 point for that section of the face.
There's 4 faces, got you.
So Jamie, if you can pass over your iPad
Are you ready?
to Mr.
I'm
Thompson, he's going to have a look.
And
You
we'll
can
put the
start anywhere
face-
you want.
Okay.
Are you going to do your... We'll put the face on the screen.
About now. Where are we starting? So we got head.
Oh, wait,
eyes,
there's 4 fighters, though.
4 different fighters.
Face to face to face to face.
Oh.
That's throwing you.
Oh,
what it
no,
says
no,
on the
no,
tin,
no,
mate.
no. Right. Ooh, that top one could be 1 or 2 people, though. Baffled for the second one. That's definitely Dalton.
2 points.
That's definitely Dalton. And that's got to be our kid from the other day, Ben Whitaker.
Oh, hello, yeah.
Final
That's
answer?
right, isn't
Yeah,
it?
for sure. The bottom one.
4 points.
For sure. And then the top one, I have a feeling I train with her. But it could be the new girl who I did the round by round scoring with as well. It could, innit?
It's a good start, though, to be fair. I mean, you're not bottom already. So Leo Tang remains bottom
Leo's
for another week.
Poor Leo.
You can ask for a clue.
Oh, what's the clue for the top one? Clue.
sure?
Yeah.
Okay, the clue for the top one.
Because I've got no idea who the second one is.
I won gold at the 2018 Commonwealth Games.
That rules out Maisie Rose Court.
Yeah, Tia. It's got to be Tia. Final answer, Tia.
I would.
How old was Tia in
Tia
2018?
is just turned 19.
So that-
Correct answer is Sky Nicholson.
Swear! Oh, you're killing me there. Come on.
How old was Tia in 2018?
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Commonwealth.
9 or something.
Maybe not.
Well, look, the good
youth
news is-
youth games, isn't it?
The good news is, Jordan, if you get this last one right,
I'm still joint top.
you are. So
But who the hell?
you may as well go for a punt.
Can I have a clue on this one?
You can.
What's the clue for this one?
So just to get it, the problem is though, look at the scoreboard. If you go for the clue, get it right, you get 5 points, so you won't be top. So do you just
All right,
jump
I'm just
in?
wing it.
It's up to you. You can ask for the clue if you want.
Sissoko?
It's a good shout. Unfortunately, it's not the correct answer. Good guess though. The correct answer, same weight class, Ishmael Davis.
Nah, ain't no way that's Ishmael.
I didn't think it was either. That's what I said at the start. You sure that's
I
right?
think it's, yeah. If it's not, our graphic designer will be fired immediately. But yeah, it's a photo fight week. We're a little bit gaunt of making the weight. Ishmael actually had a very low-key comeback win a couple of days ago up in Leeds. So good to see him back in the win column, and all eyes on November the 15th.
Fair play. That's tough, that though.
How does that feel?
Yeah. I mean, I mean, it would have looked better there, innit? But we'll take it.
Quick question, George Liddard.
Yeah.
It's a big fight for Jimmy Sains as well, fighting for the English title, but George Liddard against Kieran Conway. How do you see it?
I've got to go with George. I've got to go. I trained alongside him. He's a hell of a fighter as well, man. Hell of a fighter. And he was just progressing at such a rapid rate. I mean, it is one of them. It is his biggest test by far. It's a classic. Is it too early for him, or is it just the perfect timing? I think the George that I know, I think he'll come out on top. Kieran's doing very good though recently. Like he's got a bit of a second wind in his career, to be fair. So it's a tough matchup, man. But I'm going with George. I think he could even stop him. You never know.
And a knockout for yourself November 1st.
100%. I mean, it's heavyweights, right? That's all we can deal with.
How hard are you punching at heavyweight?
But keep doing it, so it's okay.
What was that?
I don't know. It's okay, man. It's okay. Just me trying not to give too much. I'm actually, to be fair, I'm a bit more on my
That's going to go on TikTok.
a bit more boxing now. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's not. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I know it's going to be fun, and I'm gonna have fun having fun. That can be on TikTok.
It's going to be pretty fun, isn't
Love
it?
that.
It's going to be
think
fun.
I'm not a betting man, but I think it's going to be a lot of
It's gonna
fun.
be fun. There, if you could get odds on that, but
More-
better than
mortgage
half.
Payout already.
Literally. But no,
Top
it'll be
man.
fun. Thank you
Good
guys.
to see you, mate. Appreciate it.
Nice one.
We're very happy to say joining us from the executive angle of Matchroom, of course, this week on the phone is Matchroom CEO, Mr. Frank Smith. Frank, good to see you. Thanks for coming on. Just quickly, I guess only one place to start, really. Massive weekend of boxing for Matchroom on DAZN. Firstly, in Sheffield, what are your thoughts and emotions now after what was an incredible event, amazing atmosphere, but ultimately didn't quite go the way of Dave Allen in the end.
Yeah, look, it doesn't always go your way, doesn't it? You don't always get the result you wanted, but from a show perspective, from a night perspective, it was spectacular. Over 9,000 people in there in the arena on Saturday. And I said to Dave in the ring as well, I've never, for the number of people in there, it's probably one of the best atmospheres I've ever seen. You had a guy in Dave Allen, you have a guy in Dave Allen who people just love and they want to see him succeed. And you could feel that in the venue on Saturday night. Every time he landed a punch, they were all behind him. And even afterwards, after the decision, they were still supporting him. And that's what it's all about. In Dave Allen, we got someone who took a risk, took a chance, wanted to be great, wanted to test himself. And that's not something we always see in the sport. And that's why you have to pay huge respect to him for what he did. Makhmudov deserved to win. He was the better man on the night. There were no excuses from Dave. But, our job is to deliver nights of entertainment that people won't forget. And it doesn't always mean the result's going to go the way you want it to go. But in terms of a night that people remember, that will be one of those nights.
I remember speaking to Dave before the fight, and he's always honest, isn't he? Which is why we all love him and the fans love him, because he's so relatable and genuine. But he did say, look, he's in a position in his life now where he has a family. He needs to make sure that win or lose, he's in a good position. So there was big names on the horizon for him should he have won the fight. That's not the case. So in defeat, where does Dave Allen go now?
He can still go in with big names. I said before, when you create nights like that, atmospheres like that, and you have a commercial, you have commercial appeal, you put yourself in a position to get fights. Obviously, he's going to want to, in terms of levels, he's going to want to go into fights where he's probably, he wasn't favourite going into that fight. He was taking a chance. He was taking a risk. Heavyweight boxing, though, as we've seen it, all it takes is one punch. And he could have, that was his night where he wanted to be great. He wanted to test himself. There's big fights to be made out there. There's been talk, obviously, about the British title. Obviously, Fraser Clark fights TKB at the end of this month. That's a great fight for Dave Allen if that's what he wants to do. But I still don't write him off from getting big opportunities and big fights in the division, because he's got a big name and he's got a big profile and he delivers numbers. And I think other heavyweights need some, certain heavyweights in the division need someone like Dave that draws that, commercial appeal.
I know sometimes, Frank, with fighters, particularly that you're not working with, sometimes there's options should they win. Is Arslanbek Makhmudov a fighter that Matchroom are going to be working with or not?
Yeah, we've got options to working with him forward, moving forward. So we'll work with either Tiger management to deliver the best possible opportunities and best fights for him. He's in a division, I said on Saturday, it's a fickle sport where he got beat by Ajit Kabayel, and then he had the fight, obviously, with Vianello as well, who, had the eye injury in that, I believe. But where people write fighters off, after losses. Ajit Kabayel's undoubtedly in the top 5 heavyweights right now. Why are we in a sport where people get beat and it's like, oh, they're not good, or they're finished, or they're not what we thought they were? Like, shouldn't we be respecting people who want to take fights, who want to test themselves? So, yeah, I think Arslanbek's got big fights ahead of him. He's a mountain of a man. I said he was 6'10". He's probably not 6'10". But he's going to get fights off the back of that. And that's what you do when you test yourself, when you put yourself in nights like that, like he did with Dave Allen. He's going to get opportunities.
Elsewhere on the card, just quickly, same, I guess, for Junaid Bostan and Bilal Fawaz. Where does their routes go from here?
Yeah, like I said to Junaid, I bumped into Junaid Bostan in the hotel afterwards. He was obviously very down in the dumps with the result. I thought he deserved to win by a round, but if it went around either way, it's always hard to argue. It's how you score fights. Respect to Bilal Fawaz, because he played his part, didn't he, in the fight, in the build up to the fight and in the fight itself. It was a brilliant fight between the two of them. It was just like we said it would be coming off the back of that first fight. How Junaid Bostan kept on going and stayed upright in the third round and then came back out to win the fourth round was quite sensational, and he deserves a lot of credit. But both men do, because it delivered entertainment. Like I say, nearly 10,000 people in there saw that fight on Saturday. And, they both got the opportunity. Bilal, with his character, has got the opportunity to get big fights. And Junaid, when he shows heart like the way he did, he wants to test himself and doesn't want to shy away from challenges at his young age. He's still got a lot left to offer the sport. We have to normalise losses in many ways and pay more respect for people who are willing to challenge themselves.
And obviously you did a fantastic job all week at the press conference, in the ring after the fights as well. There was an event over in Philadelphia, promoted not as well, obviously, by some other promoter. I've actually forgotten his name, to be honest. But a massive win for Jordan Thompson. It's probably quicker than a lot of us thought it would be, but I guess just really showing the world how special he's going to be at 154.
100%. Look, when you saw his performance against Stanionis in his last fight and the way he finished him in a fight where many people thought it would be a 50-50, you got people now saying, well, Lima isn't that level, but Lima was coming to fight. He was coming to win. And at the same time, you need to have opponents who are willing to fight you. And that's what Lima was. You know, Boots is a special fighter. As Eddie said, the guy whose name you forgot, Eddie Hearn, who's actually all of our bosses, we have to remember. He will become unified, if not undisputed, at 154, 160, and go up to 168 as well. Jerome Boots Ennis has got it all. He's a spectacular fighter, and he's willing to face every test. And you will see the big fights next year, I'm sure.
Monaco, by the time this wonderful podcast goes out, that will have been well and truly announced. Just talk to us about the fights on the card, Frank, because from my memory, this is maybe the best Monaco show ever, is it?
100%. That's what I've said a few times. The best show we've ever done in Monaco, top to bottom. Obviously, Shabazz Massoud against Peter McGrail, finally rescheduled, was supposed to happen earlier in the year. But that's a brilliant fight. Two fighters, 50-50 fight, both taking a chance, ahead of stepping up onto, obviously IBO and European title on the line, and then further world honours for the winner next year. So respect to both of those. Beatrice Ferreira against Elif Turhan, unbelievable fight. And they're the kind of fights we want to see. Two fights there with Matchroom fighters going in against each other. Conor Walker, Pat McCormack, another brilliant fight. Another two Matchroom fighters going in there. We want to make fights people want to see, real fights, even if they're two fighters we promote. You got Johnny Fisher's back out. Looking forward to seeing him back out, get a big win. He's going to have a huge following out there as well, and sets up a huge 2026 for him. And then, obviously, the local lad, the Prince of Monaco, they call him, Hugo Mikalev, takes on Sean McComb, coming off the back of his win, earlier this month or last month on a GBM show as well. So, exciting card, top to bottom, 5 big fights. I'd say it's one of the best shows we do. The atmosphere out there that we're going to have close to 1,000 people in the Sporting Club in Monte Carlo, and excited to get it back up and running.
It's always fun, isn't it? We love it as well.
You love it, especially in your tux.
I do. Well, it makes me feel handsome. So, yeah, of course I enjoy it. And elsewhere, I guess, for the remainder of this year, still some shows to be announced, but the Matchroom unveiling, so to speak, of Ben Whittaker, and also the return of Diego Pacheco. What can you tell us about those?
Yeah, look, Ben Whittaker will announce his show very soon. He's going to be back out before the end of the year. Thank you, I must say, for you acting as my stunt double in that promo shoot. You did a very good job.
Thank you.
You will be, when I get my Hollywood career, you will be my main stunt double. I'll keep you on board. But Ben Whittaker, excited about that. The promo's been brilliant. Everything around it has been great. And looking forward to getting him back up and running. He's had really a longer period than he probably wanted out of the ring, but he wanted to make a right decision for himself. And that's going to be a lot of fun over the next few years with Ben Whittaker. Diego Pacheco, probably in one of the tough, or if not his toughest fight to date against Kevin Lele Sadjo. And I think they've got 50 wins between them, 41 knockouts between them, undefeated. It's going to be a proper fight. Great undercard there as well, December 13th. So a great way to end the year, and then a couple of other fights to be announced, and then a couple of other shows to be announced before the end of the year as well.
And of course, it is Fight Week. Back to the spiritual home of British boxing in London's East End, York Hall. Can't wait. I guess for George Liddard, Kieran Conway on a good run of form at the minute, but you've invested quite heavily in George from his debut to this point to British title level. If he can stop Kieran Conway, what sort of level of fighter do you think you're working with?
It's a brilliant fight, and again, respect to both those guys for taking it. Kieran Conway's never shied away from a challenge at any point of his career, has always taken the big tests, whether that be in the UK, whether it be in fights in Vegas, Canelo undercards, and George Liddard, a guy who's moving very quickly. He had a great win. He's looked to be improving, great finishes in the last few fights. And I think it's a real fight here. He's stepping up. Many people think he's stepping up too soon against Kieran Conway and hasn't been in with someone of that level. So if he can beat Kieran Conway, he puts himself in a position to get a lot of the big fights. It's quite a thin division when you look at that division, and opportunities, if you create a name for yourself with big performances, can put you in a good place to get big nights and not far off from over the next 12, 18 months from challenging for titles.
Frank, listen, always a pleasure. Thanks so much for your time. I know you're a busy man. Thanks very much for coming on. Well, from one fight week, Scott, straight into another. Just before we talk about York Hall, got to talk about Sheffield. The atmosphere, Dave Allen was right in what he said earlier. I mean, it was unbelievable when he was making his way to the ring. And I think everyone in that arena, respect to Arslanbek Makhmudov. And, you're trying to be professional. But everyone in that ring, in the arena rather, wanted Dave Allen to win. They were throwing every punch with him. And, I think he was nearly there in some ways. I think he was on the right wavelength in terms of what he needed to do to win the fight. But just as he admits, probably wasn't quite good enough. In the end, wasn't letting his hands go as much as he should be, probably because of the punishment he was taking as he was advancing to try and close the gap on Makhmudov, which we knew he was going to have to do.
Yeah, spot on. I think he was getting into the right positions. I think the defence was taking a lot of shots on the gloves. Just the trigger moment. I think the volume sort of let him down. But like you say, when he's taking punishment himself, the fight was going deeper. It was starting to become a little bit uncomfortable, and I guess that's backed up by Jamie Moore's view to maybe look to pull him out of the fight towards the end. But look, come out of it with credit. We've said on here probably every episode this series so far, the people's champ, people warm to him, and I think the Dave Allen story will go on, shall we say. It's interesting to see where Makhmudov goes now. He's obviously calling for Joshua and the next level of Dave Allen. I'd like to see him fight for the European title fight. I know jumping straight back into a title fight maybe doesn't warrant that, but I think he was the number one opponent, Labinot Jojai. I think he was the number one opponent when they earmarked this date a couple of months ago. Then it went to TKV, and then it went to Makhmudov. So I think the team have probably already had a little scout about and see something they like there for Dave Allen. So if that can be rekindled, that'd be of interest. He was injured, I think maybe just sort of getting over an injury of sorts. So hopefully in the new year, that could be something they could look at. And what a night, what a moment that would be if Dave could contest the European heavyweight title.
I'll tell you one thing that was actually quite memorable and special was, like, usually when the 10 bells are sounded, it's a moment of silence and a period of reflection, isn't it? But for the 10 bells for Ricky Hatton was incredible, wasn't it? And the famous chant rang around the Sheffield Arena, everyone on their feet and clapping. It was really special, wasn't it, actually, and quite an emotional moment, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah, but like what you just said a minute ago, I think the whole night was, from start to finish, was unbelievable. I was privy to seeing Steve Bunce interview Dave in the UCAD office after the fight whilst he's waiting to do his urine test. And Steve said that was probably in the top 10 he can remember in the UK, and that's mixed in with a lot of Ricky Hatton fights. So, yeah, the whole night was special, and like you say, mixed in with the 10-bell salute. It was very emotional, as was Friday at the funeral as well, which was an unbelievable experience to be there and pay respects to Ricky.
I think, like, one thing that I could see from social media just seemed that it seemed like a truly wonderful send-off for what was a wonderful character in Ricky Hatton. Is that fair?
Oh, more than fair, yeah. I mean, Campbell held it, together so well, so brave, and spoke from the heart, and a few comedic moments in there, which only sort of rings true with their relationship and the man that he was. It was a wonderful service, and great to see so many faces from across the entertainment business and beyond show up and pay their final respects.
Well, it is fight week. Back to York Hall. It's been a little while. We spoke about it previously on the pod, but a main event that I've, the longer it's gone on, the more I've heard them speak. Obviously, we had the pair of them on the sofa here, fun, both radiating confidence. Really is an intriguing one, actually. It is the youth of George Liddard, the new kid on the block, against the experienced rhythm fighter of Kieran Conway. Is he just going to be too good? It's a massive step up for George Liddard, British title at York Hall, which is like a bear pit, isn't it? Like
literally,
right on top of the ring. A lot of questions, I think, will be answered on Friday night about how good George Liddard is. We'll find out a lot.
I think the fact our sponsors Betfred can't really split them either, gamble responsibly. That says it all, to be fair. Like you say, it's that says it all, though. Genuinely, I could see the fight going in both ways, and that's a sign of a true pick'em.
And I'm presenting the show, actually, which will be fun. Me and Tony Bellew.
First gig presenting at York Hall?
Yeah. I mean, I was don't know what I was doing last time we were at York Hall, 2019.
Was it React Paul Massey?
I remember we had all sorts of issues with the ring walk music.
Well, that was on you, mate. So
something had happened with the ring walk music. I hadn't taken any of the swearing out. That was it.
Oh dear.
And there was a new DJ, and he was like, "It's too late now." So I was backstage. Right, I think Craig Richards was having some mad rap tune, and it had loads of swearing in it. And
oh dear.
I was backstage. Like,
did you miss that?
Hyperventilating. No. The ring walk music job was aggro, mate.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Aggro.
For the people listening and watching, obviously there's copyright issues to contend with. So some fighters' ring walks tunes were basically out of bounds. You then have to go back to the fighter and say, sorry, you can't have that one. They have to moan.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't miss that job either, to be fair.
No, it was always tricky, like when a fighter would request a song that they always have, but you always had to give priority to the main event.
Yep.
So we used to say, well, you can't have it, sorry.
Because more often than not, there was a lot of clashes. Obviously, songs that are current and whatnot.
Everyone has the same blooming songs.
Yeah.
Can't
Classic
Stop,
ones.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, like that was always a popular one.
But Klitschko used to have that, but yeah.
Yeah, well, exactly. But yeah, looking forward to Friday, and looking forward to going back to Monaco as well. It's always fun. We love Monaco, getting dressed up and going out after. It's always a good night out after the Monaco show, isn't it? But what a card, by the way. I know I'm a bit of a company man. Fine,
I have.
Jamie,
have you got a new nickname?
Vincent Company. Fair, but listen, it's my job. I have to. I'm selling the shows. I'm telling you, they're amazing. However, that card, if it's in the UK, I think's doing solid numbers in Birmingham. Or would you not agree?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the McCormack Conor Walker fight is a headliner in its own right.
Definitely.
I think they might have even looked at that. But the fight I'm most looking forward to is the female IBF World Lightweight title fight.
What a fight.
Bia against the Golden Turk. That has just got blood, guts and fun all over it. That is
That
a
left
front row
hand,
job.
yeah.
That is a front row job. It's very rare I go ringside and watch a fight. That is definitely one I'll be doing that for.
Yeah, that'll be a great fight. And then obviously Johnny Fisher back in action. Good to see Johnny back. First fight under new trainer Tony Sims, and also the rescheduled clash Peter McGraw against Shabazz Massoud's a very intriguing contest as well.
I think we should try and get him on the sofa. Appreciate it's a bit of a mission for Pete, but maybe we can frame some media stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
I could see that being an interesting back and forth. So leave that one with me. I'll try and work on that one.
I think they'll be respectful.
Yeah, I mean,
But
Pete's got a bit of bite about him.
Two very good fighters, technically good fighters.
European title on the line, as well as the IBO, so a lot at stake.
Yeah, big world title for ramifications at super bantamweight, isn't it? So,
big time, yep.
Yeah, lots to look forward to. But of course, lots to look forward to here on DAZN. Friday night, do not miss it. The British middleweight title and Commonwealth middleweight title, by the way, on the line in your main event. So much brilliant talent on display, but of course, all eyes on that main event. Experience versus the youth. Kieran Conway defends the unified British and Commonwealth middleweight titles. I don't know if you can say unified, but it sounds fantastic. Against the Billericay bomber, Mr. George Liddar. Thanks very much for listening to Flash.
Hang on. We've had an email again. And don't forget, you can email flashknockdown@matchroom.com. Here we go. So John Huntington says, what's the one pinch me moment you've both had in your boxing careers so far?
Pinch me moment?
Yeah, I guess like a what, I was there or a wow. I'll go first.
Go on.
I reckon Joshua Klitschko. Just to be there when it was the height of the age.
Were you working at that stage?
Yeah, I was, yeah. Yeah, I was probably, 6 or 7 months into the gig. I think just the drama of that fight, being a young man, well, maybe not a young man, but a young adult, shall I say. Probably the first big stadium show I've done. Yeah, it's just epic. And the way it just unfolded, that fight was just crazy.
I think it's got to be the best thing you've had, right, I guess?
More than likely, yeah.
There's like some random ones. Like I remember having a beer with Alexander Usyk in the bubble. By bubble, I mean like the hotel bubble when it was during the pandemic after he boxed Chisora. That was weird.
Yeah, I mean there were 6 of us.
Me, you, Darren who works for Matchroom,
David
Hay, Aegis Klimas, Alex Krashuk.
That was it, I think.
And Usyk. And he was drinking tins of pale ale.
Beavertown. And he was calling them
Parliali.
Yeah.
That was cool. That was a cool experience. But then I guess it's got to be Ben Eubank press conference, fight week press conference.
Have you had any slip ups when you're going through the ropes and whatnot?
No. Oh yeah.
Some people do struggle to get through it.
Rip my trousers.
Oh, go on.
Rip my trousers in Vegas.
What show?
Conor Benn versus Pistol Pete.
Is this the one that was the 1 o'clock during the day to hit?
So I put on a bit of beef, I think, at that stage. I don't know what had happened, but got in the ring.
I've never heard
Katie
this story.
Taylor's ringside. Because I remember when I got out the ring, she went, no, I'm not can't do the impression. She was like, you like the new Larry Merchant, which I was dying on. But got in the ring first interview, gone like that, and it's gone. I've just heard like this rip, right? So in my head, I'm thinking, I don't know how bad this is. You know, sometimes you rip your trousers and it goes right, your arse, doesn't it? Basically, I was like, I don't know how bad this is.
Yep.
So I think I was interviewing. It can't have been the first interview actually, because I think I was interviewing Amo Williams or Khalil Coe, who were on the broadcast.
Yeah, Amo was fine.
And I just remember standing like.
So hang on, if we go back through the footage,
you might find it
a little close up.
But yeah, that was Yeah, I did rip my trousers once.
I never knew that.
The ropes were tighter. I don't know what had happened.
Okay, different commissions have different rules and stuff. So, that's
normally the rope, I just budge it up and then I'm in. Do you know what, actually, normally the security, how diva is this? Normally hold the ropes up for me and I slide
It's not as easy as it looks, I'll give you that.
But I didn't have any security friends in Vegas and nearly had a terrible wardrobe malfunction.
Never knew that. Brilliant.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, listen, that is the end of the show before we get cancelled. Thanks very much for listening to Flash Knockdown, and thanks very much to producer Scott, of course, for all his work behind the scenes. And thanks very much to our guests this week, of course, Matchroom CEO, Mr. Frank Smith, Diego Pacheco, Dave Allen, very much still the people's champion. How can you not love him? Still big nights left in the fairy tale Cinderella story of the White Rhino. And thanks very much to our guests who joined us on the sofa this week as well, Jordan Thompson, and Matchroom's latest signing, Connor Mitchell. We'll see you Friday from York Hall, George Liddard versus Kieran Conway. So much to look forward to on your global home of boxing, DAZN. Until then, see you next week.
What a shot! The female front of the